What's up guys, Boss here, and in today's video I'm going to be showing you guys what in my opinion are the top 5 best decks in the meta. So the first one is Electro Giant, second one is Mortar Queen Miner, third one Mighty Miner Bait, fourth one Royal Giant, doesn't have a champion in it as you guys can see, and the fifth one is going to be Miner Control with the Rocket and the Archer Queen. If you guys would like to see more of these videos and if you'd like to support me, make sure to use my credit code BOSS in any Supercell game. But yeah, that being said, let's get right ahead in the first game here with Miner Control Rocket and see if we can climb up more on top of ladder. Alright, so we found our first game here against RW Miner. So basically, I didn't want to talk a ton about the decks early on because there's 5 decks that would take forever to do. So what I decided to do is at the beginning of each game in Single Elixir kind of talk about the decks a little bit, kind of talking about how you want to play them and also substitutions if you do not have champions, because as you saw, many of the decks do have champions inside of them. So for this deck, for example, if you don't have the Archer Queen, what you want to actually do is use the Inferno Tower instead of the Bomb Tower and then put an Electro Spirit in the deck and also put Dark Prince in it. So make a couple substitutions. That was a common Miner Control deck, one with Dark Prince and Inferno. So even if you don't have the Queen, you can still use a variant of this deck that is played pretty similar. So this guy's got a very, very strange deck. I don't even know what this is. He's using a Sparky deck with Freeze and I don't even know. Freeze and Miner, very strange, very off meta. So we obviously probably have quite a good matchup here because we are using a Miner Control deck that has the Rocket as well as the Delivery. And if you guys didn't know, Rocket is one of the best win conditions in the game right now. There's a ton of people using Rocket decks. I mean, there's Mighty Miner Rocket, there's this deck you see here. There's also even people using Mortar with Rocket instead of the Poison. It's gotten so out of hand that some people are even saying that Rocket needs a small nerf. I don't know what your guys' thoughts are on that. I personally don't think it does, but it is most definitely a very, very strong card inside of the meta right now. So we're going to go for an Ice Spirit. We're going to get an Archer Queen down. Go Goblins. He might go for... Oh, wow, those minions were very interesting. We can just go for Delivery on top of all that, so definitely a mistake on his end. He's calling the WoW. As you can tell, really, really solid matchup for us here. We should be able to get this win really, really easily. This match really showcases how valuable the Delivery is. I think the Delivery is so good because, especially after the minions buff, there's a lot of people running them. And it's really good against minions, for example. But I don't think I need to do anything. Sparky shouldn't connect. Yeah, it takes forever to shoot. Sparky is pretty bad in my opinion. Goblin Giant as well. I'd personally like to see a Goblin Giant buff, like a very small one. I think it would be deserving of one, because it's for sure, I would say, the worst win condition in the game right now. So yeah, this guy's pretty frustrated. We were blessed with a pretty solid matchup our first game with this Miner Control deck. Our next one is going to be... So basically, I play one game with each of the 5 decks. That's kind of going to be the style of this type of video, just to kind of give you guys a gist of like how each deck is played, you know, talk about the deck a little bit, and substitutions, like I said. So if you want to play a deck similar to this, but you don't have the Archer Queen, make sure to use the Inferno instead of the Bomb Tower, and then put also Dark Prince inside of the deck. You could do that instead of the... I'm trying to think. Well, just make sure you definitely put Inferno for Bomb Tower, and then you actually put Dark Prince in for the Queen. That's actually what you do. Alright guys, so the second deck here is going to be this Royal Giant deck. Let's get into the next game. Alright, so we found our next game here against Danny, and we are running the RG deck here, as I said. So Goblins are also going to appear in many of the decks this video, as you guys will see. I believe 4 out of the 5, which really shows how good Goblins are ever since they added, you know, a 4th one. The DPS is just absolutely insane, and the value they get for only 2 elixir. So they're just such a versatile card now. So not only are they really good in cycle decks, they're good in control decks like RG. So we're actually going to try to go for Ghost to protect... Oh, man, the Monk one-shotted the egg. I thought it was going to stay alive, but unfortunately it got taken out there. We would have gotten a nice counter push had that not been the case, but I guess it's all good. I'm still going to go RG anyway because I feel like his cycle's a little messed up. Oh, he went for... Oh, wow. I thought he was running Ram Rider, but it looks like he's using probably a Graveyard deck. So it's a really good thing we have the Mother Witch, but I still think this is probably not going to be too easy. We got to watch out here. I can't log because if I do... Oh, I'm surprised he didn't go for the Monk ability, because I thought he would have assumed that I was going to go for a log, but surprisingly, I guess he didn't go for the ability. So, oh wow, okay, huge mistake there. He just went for a late bar. I'm going to try to take advantage of that. I mean, he might be able to defend this, but there's no risk here being over aggressive because the Phoenix is going to help a ton with that counter push. And as you can see, we didn't get a ton of damage, but he did have to commit so much elixir that it wasn't really an overcommitment doing that. So I think that was a good play for sure. I'm going to just defensive RG here to defend the Phoenix. Maybe I should have played it at the bridge, but I think it's alright. He's going to go Zappies and Monk. I'm going to go for a Phoenix here. And yeah, I think he's definitely using Graveyard for sure. I'm pretty positive about that. It's going to be tough to break through because of his Zappies. So it's good that we had that nice start where we got a little bit of damage. He's going to go Phoenix at the bridge. That was kind of an aggressive Phoenix. It's not going to, I don't think, do too much. Although it did help take out that. Maybe we go for a Lightning here, because I feel like these are the only two cards in this matchup we would Lightning, except the Phoenix, of course. But we got some solid value there, taking out the Tombstone and the Monk. And of course we got the Mother Witch, which is going to be an amazing counter to the Graveyard. So as you can see, he's having a really hard time going in. Oh, okay, good poison. He preemptively played it, so good counter there to that Mother Witch. But we are able to mitigate a good chunk of the damage there. Alright, let's just go Ghost in the back. It's like I said, building a push is going to be very, very challenging in this matchup. It might even be a good idea to like cycle lightnings and stuff. That was a good lightning though, even though he didn't hit the tower. I feel like it was very valuable. Oh wow, he had a defensive poison. I feel like that's a good thing for us. I'm going to commit an RG here. We're going to pressure a little bit. I don't think it's too aggressive. We also have that egg, which maybe will hatch. No, it doesn't. Even if it did, I doubt it would have done anything because he had the Zappies down there. Do we get a shot? Yes, we do. That's a big shot from the RG right there. Every hit you get with an RG is very, very valuable. Alright, so if he plays a Monk, I'm going to Lightning for sure. Well, I meant if he played it next to the Phoenix. He didn't, of course, so I'm going to RG in the back in the opposite lane, actually. I think this will be a decent play because it's going to, like, I don't know. He's probably going to play into us on the left here, and then by the time I get back to another RG, I can just play it at the bridge in the left lane. That's kind of the idea behind it. So, yeah, we're going to do that now. Log to take out the Goblins. And, yeah, as you can see, the double RG is going to be pretty successful. A lot of times when people are running a building, going for that RG in the back can be very, very useful. And yeah, Mother Witch is kind of hard carrying this game because as you can see, it's pretty much preventing him from going for a single Graveyard. And that's why, despite him having the Zappies, we're able to win this game because he just cannot pressure. And at least we can get damage with the Lightnings. And we've gotten a couple RG hits, so that's ultimately going to be what wins us this game because he's running out of time here. I mean, he has time for like one more Graveyard, but I feel like at this point he's just gonna, yeah, he's out of time. That's gonna be GG. So nice win here against Graveyard Zappies. I think it's not even a very, very easy matchup just because of the Zappies, and he's got a building. The Monk is also pretty decent against, I guess, the Mother Witch when he pops the ability on it, but we're still able to win. We played pretty well and controlled that match pretty nicely. Alright, so up next we got deck number 3, which we'll go to right now. As you can see, Mighty Miner Bait. Bait is pretty strong in this meta, as I'm sure a lot of you guys know. So we found our next game here against Hessler. So if you guys don't have the Mighty Miner, I'd recommend using the Valkyrie or the Knight instead. So he's going to go for a log. So we already know he's got a solid counter to our Goblin Barrel, obviously. We're going to have to go for a cannon here on top of that cannon cart. Very aggressive cannon cart by him. I certainly didn't expect him to do that. Because he went so aggressive there, we're sending a Goblin Barrel quickly before his log gets back in rotation. We get some chip damage and take the lead, which is great. He's going to go for the Skelly Drags. Okay, so very, very interesting deck that he's got thus far. I wonder if he's got, for some reason, I feel like this is either probably, ooh, with the cage, I think this is probably Royal Hogs. I don't know for sure, though. Probably Royal Hogs or Ram Rider would make the most sense based off of what he's played. But I guess we'll see. It's has to be some kind of spammy deck since we know he's got the Mother Witch and the Cannon Cart. I'm going to just go for Goblins here. We'll go Princess in the back, I guess. Why not? Ooh, this should be a decent rocket. We'll be able to hit the Mother Witch as well as the Cannon Cart. We just got to watch out for some pressure now because we did just commit a rocket. We got the cannon, though, in rotation, so we should be alright. Okay, he's going to go for a log, so we'll pressure with a Goblin Barrel here. And he has to go for a Fireball. Okay, so we know Fireball is his other spell. I guess that's not that bad. I mean, it does take out the Princess, but it's a -1 trade. And I feel like it's not... It's way better than him having, say, like, arrows or something like that. We'll just go for a Princess here to snipe the cage. And let's go Goblins, and then I guess Goblin Barrel as well. See if he decides to go for a log. Yeah, he does. So the Princess is going to get a ton of value. Mighty Miner does distract that as well, which is great. We'll go Princess in the back in this lane. And then I might try to go for a Cannon, actually, to protect the Princess. Ooh, he went for a Mother Witch there. I did not expect him to do that. That was a good play on his end. He was able to take out that cannon really, really quick. Ooh, the Mighty Miners can get a ton of value, though. Set up a cannon here to help defend a little bit. I probably didn't need it, but it's alright. We'll go for a Goblin Barrel here. Maybe get some chip damage. Yeah, we do get a tiny bit, so can't complain with that. Go ahead and log here. We'll actually try to protect the Princess. I think we can, because we can go Mighty Miner and everything. We spent a lot to protect it, but I think it's a fine play. I don't know. We'll see, though. We'll go Princess here, and then we'll go ahead and use the ability. Alright, so he does go for Royal Hogs. And a log, all of that. And maybe get Mighty Miner down in time. Yeah, we do. Ooh, that was a lot of damage he just dealt in the opposite lane, though. I didn't expect him to get that much. We can't really go for the Rocket Cycle just yet, but we will definitely have to at the end of this game. Because we can't... It's going to be hard for us to get damage with other cards. We'll go for... Ooh, Mother Witch wasn't really good there. I guess we could try to go for Cannon to snipe the Mother Witch. I think we outcycled his log. We got some damage, which was good. Yeah, I knew he was gonna Fireball the Princess, so I didn't want to play my cannon near the Princess. That would have been bad. We're gonna have to rocket now. Don't know if that hits this. It hits one of the Skelly Drags. It's good, actually. Ooh, we defended that really well. We're going to for sure rocket here. I think we could win this just by the rocket cycle. And this really, if we win this, this is really going to showcase why the rocket is so good. Because it wins you so many games in triple. And yeah, I think we actually are going to win this one just by rocket cycling. Oh my gosh, barely, but we got it. That guy played pretty well, because I think it's a decent matchup for bait. You might be wondering why, because he had log and like some annoying cards, but I just think like our defense is decent. You know, we have some valuable cards like the Mighty Miner, and the Mighty Miner giving us that 3-card cycle allows us to rocket cycle so quickly at the end, like you saw. Alright, so the fourth deck is going to be Mortar. Mortar is debatably the best win condition in the game right now. So many different variants you can play with it, but I think this is personally the best one. If you want to try some other variants, you could use Skeletons instead of the Goblins. You could use Guards instead of the Goblins. You could use Mortar Skelly King, so a variation with Minion Horde, Flying Machine, tons of variations. you can use with Mortar. All right, let's get into the next one here. It's going to be our Mortar game 4. So I would say if you're looking to run a Mortar deck that doesn't have a champion in it, I probably would recommend using, so what you could try doing is, I mean, this is pretty obvious, but Musk instead of the Queen is what a lot of people do, but the Queen is just so much better, and I don't want to make people think that Musk is like an okay replacement and that you're going to have almost the same amount of success. But what you could try doing is running a completely different Mortar deck, like one with like Goblin Gang and Skelly Barrel, kind of like a bait variation that I've seen some people use. That is also quite effective. So we're going to go Poison here to take care of this Flying Machine. So Recruits Hogs. I mean, this is going to be an interesting matchup. The Flying Machine is quite annoying to deal with, but the Queen at least is pretty good against it. So we're going to go ahead and activate the ability here. Okay, so he is going to have a Fireball. So that means this isn't definitely not going to be that easy, because if it's Recruits with arrows, it's much easier because the arrows don't get as much value as the Fireball. Fireball obviously going to be a decent counter to the Archer Queen. I mean, not that amazing, but it's way better than the arrows would be, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So we'll go Valkyrie here. He's going to go for Royal Hogs. We'll just go for Goblins and Log. I actually think those Royal Hogs were not very good on his end because we actually got, well, that was a -1 trade by him because we only spent 4 to counter, and we're going to get some damage on the counter push here. We actually can get more than we got on the left. Goblins are just so OP, which is why they're in pretty much every single deck in this video, as you saw. So we're going to just go for a Miner here. See if he gives us poison value. Okay, he just decides to go for Recruits. I'm trying to think about like what we should do. I feel like a Valk is fine. We're almost in double, and it's actually going to get easier in double because I feel like in double, yeah, I don't know. We're just always going to have what we need in rotation. And the other thing is he doesn't even have the Golden Knight, so I feel like, I don't know, like it's just going to be pretty hard for him to break through unless we make a mistake on defense or something like that. Because since he doesn't have the Golden Knight, we don't have to worry about like a potential just him getting a dash on the tower or something. So it doesn't matter where we place our goblins that much and stuff like that, because if we play them next to the tower, we don't have to worry about the Golden Knight. I feel like that was not a great fireball by him. I feel like he's getting just really greedy and desperate for damage. He goes in for the bar barrel there. That was a good bar barrel. Would try to get some damage maybe with the goblins because he did just use that bar barrel, obviously. We go Valk here. He's probably going to go Flying Machine. Yeah, he does. And he played it, as you can see, instead of playing it in the center to get distracted by the Valkyrie, he tried to play it in a way so it would go straight for the tower. Luckily, we reacted in time with the Queen. Because he fireballed, we're definitely going to go for an offensive mortar here. Perfect timing because he said to go Royal Hog, so it's going to be set up perfectly where we can just go Valk. Unfortunately, I don't think we are going to be able to get a mortar connection, but this is going to be a really nice counter push. He's going to go Zappies here. He probably has to. If not, he's going to take a ton of damage from that miner. I'm going to Queen in the back. If he wants to fireball, completely fine, because we'll still have the lead, and the Queen doesn't die to a fireball, so it's still going to get a ton of value even after being fireballed. So because we have the Valkyrie set up, good idea to just go for that there. That was a good play by him, sneaking in that Flying Machine there. But it's all good because we can just distract with Night Spirit and then go Goblins to distract it further. Go for a Log here, just get a poison down. Even go Goblins because he just went Bar Barrel. And just going all in this lane. Yeah, it's going to be GG. Yeah, so pretty easy matchup, especially because he didn't have the Golden Knight. I don't know why he wasn't using the Golden Knight. Maybe he didn't have it, or I don't know, maybe he did, but he was just trying that variant for some reason. Who knows? But either way, pretty easy matchup. Alright, so this is going to be the last deck. I know so many of you guys hate Electric Giant, but a lot of people love it too. It's one of those decks that you love using, but you hate playing against, and the Golden Knight is the culprit behind why it's just as strong as it is right now. So I would say if you don't have the Golden Knight, the deck is definitely going to be a lot weaker, but what you probably could use as a replacement would be Dark Prince would be an adequate replacement to the Golden Knight because that pairs really well with the Tornado as well. And then if you don't have Phoenix, I'd recommend using the Inferno Drag. All right, let's go ahead and get into our last game, the fifth and final deck. All right, guys, so we're in a game here against Eric with the upside down question mark in the middle of his name, which is very interesting. Anyway, he's going to go for a drill first play of the game, so we're going to go for a Golden Knight, and we're actually going to... Oh, I messed up the King activation. I misplayed the NATO. He's going to give us a sarcastic well played, but I'll get him back and BM him if we win. Or if he makes a mistake, I'll just give him a well played simply. Either way, that's the game plan. So we're going to apply some pressure here because he doesn't have his Drill in cycle, and Drill is likely his best counter to the Electro Giant because he can obviously play that defensively. So he's just going to NATO that back, but he might take, I think, a tiny bit of damage, maybe like one bolt. No, he doesn't. But now this is going to be pretty easy to defend because he doesn't have the Tornado in cycle, obviously. And we are able to get the King activated. We take some damage in the process, but we do get the King activated, which is what I was going for. So even though we messed up the first NATO, it's alright. I played the NATO too high in case you guys were wondering, because the Goblin's first hit is slower now. It died before it was able to attack the King Tower, whereas if I played it one tile lower, it would have activated and been alright. So we're going to E-Giant at the bridge in the opposite lane because he doesn't have his Drill in cycle and he just committed 6 Elixir, so he doesn't have a lot to defend this. And as you can see, he's going to go Magic Archer, but that's not really going to be enough to defend a E-Giant. I'll tell you that right now. So we're going to go Phoenix here. It's not going to distract his Phoenix. What the heck? That was a bad mistake by me. We're both making some pretty bad mistakes, not going to lie. The fact that I let that Phoenix just end up on my tower, but once again, he just used his Drill on offense instead of defense. So I'm trying to take advantage of that once again by going in for a push here. Goes in for the Drill on defense. He had to play it very late, though, but he did get it down in time. He's gonna go for a Ghost. I'm gonna go Bomber, I guess. Let's go ahead and E-Giant, why not? We'll Lightning if he goes in for the defensive Drill this time around. Let's see what he wants to do first, though. I'm gonna Lightning, yeah. Now we just have to Lightning and NATO. And... Yep, Lightning does 420. And we get to get our revenge because he BM'd us sarcastically at the beginning. So I wait last second to go for the Tornado. Cry emote. And we have the Global Tournament emote as well. And we have the 20 win emote. So he tried to defend his ego there at the end of the Global Tournament emote. I got it too. I got it too. A little toxic, but I know you guys enjoy some of the toxicity. And he started it. He said well played at the beginning. Anyway, those are going to be the 5 decks. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know what decks you guys think I potentially missed in the comments. What do you think should have made the top 5 that didn't? Some runners up I was thinking of are Splash Yard and then maybe Queen Bow are both pretty good, but I think they didn't quite make the top 5 right now because all these decks I showed right now have been used a ton right now at the top of ladder, and I've been having a lot of success. If you guys enjoy the video and want to see this kind of style of video again, where I show the best 5 decks of the meta, maybe if this video does well, I'll do this once every month, or at the very least once every 2 months. Make sure to like the video if you guys enjoyed it, subscribe if you guys are not subscribed already, and thanks again until next time, guys.